Yo guys, I'm Sephyx. Happy you tuned in guys, and I'm going to be showing you the making of Lights. Lights has recently been released on Revealed Records. The response so far is crazy. When first was in Hardwell on air, you guys, the comments were so sick, and now with the preview up, it's amazing. I'm Sephyx, I'm 20 years old. I've been producing for about four and a half years now. I live in Breda, and yeah, I'll be showing you how I'm gonna make how I made Lights. So, if you guys have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll be answering them. So yeah guys, any questions so far? The response so far is great, man, you know. It's hardstyle on Revealed. I'm good, thanks Joe. You? Yo, Regio. Is everything fine with the audio and stuff? How do I make my kicks? Yeah, that's a really long progress, man. I'm not gonna be explaining how I make kicks because that would take 4 hours. It's impossible to do that in the live stream. Now I'm gonna be showing you the vocals, synths and stuff. Cool, good to hear. I really want to come to India, man. Would be awesome. So I'm usually making hardstyle all the time. I make everything, so sometimes I make EDM or any other stuff, but I mainly just release hardstyle because I love hardstyle so much. The melodies are great for me, and I always release on Dirty Works. That's my main label, and now I'm releasing this track as Revealed, and that's really cool. Alright, so for the track I'm gonna show you right now. 1 second. I'll be putting this here. Cool. So, can you guys still hear me well? This is the entire project of Lights. It's pretty much work on it. So first thing first, I'm gonna show you the vocals, how I did the vocals. They're self-recorded. I recorded them with my own voice. Let's see. Yeah, this is the vocoder vocal. So what I did was I recorded my own voice right here. And used a lot of auto-tune to make it monotonous. Let's see. Disable that. Put this up. Yeah, this is the dry vocal. The bass will crush you. The night goes onwards. Raise the pitch higher. Yeah. So I added a carrier. It's just a Nexus thing, but it doesn't do anything. It basically just adds the chords. These are the chords for from the melody, and I've implemented them on the vocals like this with the vocodex. It's this plugin. The bass will crush you. The night goes onwards. Raise the pitch higher. Joe, why do I use FL Studio? Well, I have been using FL Studio for the entire time. I've never tried anything else before, so I got used to it. The workflow is really nice. I've tried Studio One a bit, but yeah, you know, the switch to that is so difficult. So and I like the flow of FL. I like how I work in FL, and that's why I'm using it. So the vocals are like this, added some delay, removed a lot of low end. And there you go. So next up, the melody. The melody is one of the most important things in hardstyle for me. That's why I also make uplifting, euphoric hardstyle, because the melody for me is what makes a track. And let's see, this is the melody. How do I manage to mix hardstyle, Daniel? Great question. It's really hard. I have been practicing it for a lot of time. I immediately, when I started producing hardstyle, because it's really difficult to produce hardstyle. And when I'm producing hardstyle, I think that I can do anything when I'm able to produce proper hardstyle. So that's the first thing I started doing, and I really loved it, the technical aspect of it. So I kept on doing it. So the melody consists of 10 layers, and they're all silent. Let me show you if it's loading. Yeah, so this is silent. I have one layer with the melody line, the top line, and it's using like, this is one layer. And I have 5 top layers. This one, and all together to create the one top layer. And underneath that I use chords. These are the chords, and it sounds like this in one layer. So that's another 5 layers for the chords, and all together it sounds like this. Then I've added a bass. It's also silent. It's a Moog bass. Really like the way it works. I've added a little bit distortion to make the sounds a little bit distorted. This is the standard one. You can extend it and make it very plucky. That's what I really love about this one. And I'll always edit it with the melody to make it sound really full. Underneath that I also have a cello section. It's a Nexus, simple Nexus. I use Nexus for the orchestra stuff usually. Okay. I always add a little bit delay, reverb on them. The leads always have a lot of reverb, as you can hear, and a lot of delay as well. Thing with leads is you have to cut off the low end to make room for the kick in hardstyle, so it has to be like between 100 and 200 hertz. I always cut them at like 160 for the headroom and stuff. A little bit of stereo shaping, not too much, and then all together it sounds with a clap. So in all together it sounds like this. Great question. Which sound set did I use, Ricardo? I didn't use any sound set. Basically every lead in here, every one is self-made. All the leads in there I made myself, and yeah, 10 different ones to create one epic big one. Here you got my own sweep up, which I really love. It's a really cool sound. Alright, and then you have a build up. Let's see. Yeah. So for the break here, this part, I used the melody with a really fat and bassy pluck. It's also silent. I love working in silent. I also have a virus, but with the virus I get issues on latency with my sound card. And yeah, the sounds on silent are fat enough for me. So this is one of the plugs I made. It's 2 layers. One is playing the melody and the bass, and the other is playing chords. How do I process my leads? I have a little bit of compression. I compress them a little bit so they smooth out, and you the reverb is well good on it. And a lot of EQing. That's basically it. A lot of EQing, proces, a little bit of compressing, a lot of reverb on the send channel, and with the send channel I remove the lows on the reverb as well, and I use Valhalla Room for reverb. So this is the plug, and it is a really nice automation where it goes from close to open, and it builds up towards the melody. Then you have the build up using typical hardstyle snares. Vocals with a little extra with a nice block. Always use that in my tracks. It makes a really good stereo image for your tracks. Playing with a lot of cutoff to build up towards the climax, and then we have faster. I used kicks, the pitching. And then we're at the main part. Yeah, most important part in hardstyle. I always start with a crash on the first sound, same with a sweep down. And there we have the kick. This is my signature kick. I'm using it in a few tracks, always with little tweaks, but still with the same sound, so you can hear it's my own self-made kick. Kicks, they're a pain pain in the ass, and they're really difficult to make. It took me a lot of practice to get a good kick. Yeah, I'm really proud of this current one. It's really fat and really crisp in my opinion. So this is what it sounds like. It may be weird for you guys to experience it because it's you don't often hear like a kick this naked. What inspires me to make a track? Everything. I watch movies and I hear a certain sound in it, or a backing track playing, and I'm like, whoa, that sounds really cool. Maybe I can use it, or get some inspiration from it. That's really awesome. Do I use Pro C for sidechain? I actually do not use Pro C for sidechaining. I basically use Kickstart for it most of the time. Let's see. The kick consists of two parts. You have the punch and the bass part, the tail. So the punch is, and it's important that you do not pitch the tail. The punch. You never pitch the punch, and the tail is the bass part. You do pitch the bass part. Together it's like. It's important if you have the kick playing that all the other sounds on top have no low end, because the kick has so much low end that it will ruin your entire mix if it's not. And you have FX kicks. It's kicks with a lot of distortion, like these. In between, they're like fills, and at the second part I also have the pluck. Interesting is this pluck isn't actually silent, it's serum. I use serum a lot as well. It's really fat sounds and you can create really cool stuff with it. So here when it says raise the pitch higher, I'm actually going into a modulation, and the entire melody is let's see, shifted. I shifted the entire melody 2 steps. So this is the new one, and this is the old one. So it gives a little bit more energy and hype towards the second climax. I always like to do something different with the second drop. A climax is a drop in a hardstyle, by the way, for those who don't know. So when it says raise the pitch higher, it's going to modulate 2 steps up. Sangram, where did I learn music production? Basically everything I've learned was self-taught. I have never actually watched any tutorials. I just kept making music because I loved it. I'm a guitar player from origin. I played in a lot of bands and stuff. And I was interested to make this, so I started downloading FLCO and just started making hardstyle tracks because I recently discovered hardstyle back then. And yeah, the sounds were so sick, and I was like, whoa, I want to be able to do that. And I started doing that. And I didn't really watch any tutorials. I thought taught myself everything. And sometimes, you talk a bit with other producers, and they're like, "Hey, this thing is really cool to do," or that thing, and they give a little boost to your production quality. Like for you guys just watching this live stream, it's good to learn some stuff and how it's put together. Thanks. How did labels discover my music? Well, I kept on sending demos. At first, you don't really hear you get any mails back, but if you keep on doing it, just be persistent, never give up, never ever give up, because eventually they will pick you up, and they'll be like, "Whoa, this is cool, let's have a meeting or something." For the plugins I used, Classic Delay for my delay, really like that one. Let's see, and this is my go-to reverb, Valhalla Room. I like it a lot. Camel Fat for distortion and stuff. Same goes with Bus Effect Adapter with white stereo noise. I basically use a lot of FL plugins as well for filters and stuff. And so for the intro, the mid intro, those are FX kicks, pre-drop down lifter. So for the mid intro, they are always with screeches, a lot of cool hardstyle sounds. I also made the screech from lights in silent. It's this one. It sounds like this. This is the signature screech from lights. It has a lot of automation on it. As you can see, it sounds like this without animation, and if you play with the cutoff, it makes a lot of cool sounds. So I started doing some cool sounds, working out what's a cool rhythm for the mid intro. I started with some other screech. I've actually used this in my older track Imagination, and I've recycled it into this track because I like the sound of it. It's really aggressive. This one for some stereo image, and altogether with a kick, it's like this. This one is also. This is also silent with side chaining on it. This one is the same, just higher pitch. As you can see right here, like some cool envelopes, and then building up towards the break. Little details like this, really soft plucks and stuff. Some cool things like reverb on a kick, at the end some ambience, and basically the outro is almost the same, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just pitched up for tones. Also this old screech. I added a little bit of percussion in the at the end. How important are samples for me, Rohan? What's key to use good quality samples? I always pick the best samples that I'm using. They are important to have a good snare, a good clap, a good crash, and of course all the other sounds, downlifter, uplifters. You can make them yourself, like I did with this one. I really like that one, but I also use this one from a Vengeance sample pack. Put them together, it's coming out really cool. It's a repetition of the first part, and then it's going up into the pitch again to give a little bit more energy. And I added question from Ilari. Do you do the mastering on your track? Nope, I actually don't do the mastering on my own track, and I think barely anybody does, because it's really important to have another set of ears to listen to your music. And back at Dirty Works, we have a mastering engineer, and he listens to all the tracks and he masters my tracks. And yeah, I can do it myself, but sometimes I do it for other people as well. But I think it's important that other people judge my track and think, give their vision into how it should sound like. So another master engineer is really important to me. Nigel, do I have any other music coming up? Of course, man, always. I'm always working on new tracks. I have a few coming up that's going to be released. Working on some awesome projects. How do I get such a full sound? From Tim. Well, Tim, I used to struggle with that a lot. And basically, less is more. You have to have a lot of experience. Experience is just key. I wasn't able to get such a big sound from the beginning. No, that's impossible. You have to practice every day, just make a lot of tracks. In fact, I've made over 200 different tracks in about 4 years. So that's where your quality comes from, and the full sound. Can I show demo FLPs? Not really sure I can show a demo FLP, but I can show a little bit of a track I'm working on. Let's see. That's it for now. It's just a little sneak peek. Hope you guys like it. It will be it's not finished yet actually, so I have to do the last things on it, but it's almost done. And I have a lot of other tracks coming up as well, so no problem. How do I know when the track sounds full? Experience. It's just experience, man. Sometimes you think it's full, and then you hear it back the next day and you're like, damn, it's not that full as I thought. Alright, so that was lights. I'm gonna be switching back now. Hope you guys liked the explanation. If you guys have any questions, come, I'll answer them. It's cool. Advice for upcoming artists: never give up. Never give up, man. There are so much things that aren't going your way, and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore, but in the end it pays off. All the cool things, all the cool stuff will happen eventually. Just put your entire heart in it, man. Am I married? No, I'm not married. I'm just 20 years old, man. Turning 21 in October. More new music this month. Probably not this month, but soon though, because when a track is done, you have to get it mastered, you have to video clips and stuff, and it will always take a pretty long time. But I'll be playing them for sure. So if you guys catch any of my catch any of my gigs, then yeah, you can always be the first one to hear the tracks. Yo. How was working with Bonnie and Clyde? I actually made the track entirely myself, except for the vocal part. I've got the vocals from them, and I started working around the vocals and made the entire track. So it was really really cool. Will there be any more releases on Revealed? Yeah, probably. I have nothing scheduled right now, but of course in the future, who knows, man. Johan, how long did it take to learn producing on such a high level? Well, thanks. I'm glad you think my stuff is on a high level. Really appreciate the support from everyone, by the way. It's awesome. What I am doing is producing a lot. You know, sometimes I produce 15 hours a day. Sometimes it's a little bit less because I have no inspiration, but yeah, just keep on working a lot and quality will eventually come. Any inspiration from anyone in hardstyle? Yeah, of course, man. I listen to everything in the hardstyle, but also other genres. I'm not limited to any genre. As you can see, I've been playing guitar for a long time. I get a lot of my inspiration from other stuff like rock music, metal, blues. Watch film music. I listen to film music, and anything EDM, hardstyle. Name it. I listen to everything. If I think it's musically awesome, I listen to it and I get my inspiration from it. How old am I? I'm 20 years old. What's the most difficult thing about producing? The most difficult thing about producing hardstyle is the kicks. The kicks and the synths and getting the quality good. Future dream collaboration. Well, I already had the chance to get a collaboration with Hardwell, which is crazy. I would have never thought about that when I started out. And with Koen as well, he's one of the biggest hardstyle artists in the world. I made a track with him. But yeah, I love to make some more music with other people as well, of course. For instance, Atmospheres is one of my idols. Wild Styles. Did I play Solaris, the guitar part? Guillaume. Yes, I actually recorded the guitar part in Solaris, the solo in the break, and it was cool, you know. It works really well. It's really unique, and I implement some guitar stuff in other tracks as well. For instance, I have a new track with some guitar, but yeah, I have to do a lot of other stuff on it before it will be released. Project One, yeah, Project One is definitely one of my inspiration. You know, Headhunters, the old sound of Headhunters is where I started learning hardstyle, and I was like, oh, that's so awesome. So when I went to Climax, I saw them producing. I saw them performing, and it was amazing. So they gave me inspiration to make a track called Future. Kim, yeah, I have a track coming up with a great guitar solo. All right, well, guys, thank you for tuning in. It was really awesome to be explaining lights to you guys. Thanks for all the support, all the comments. Everything is so awesome. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram at DJ Sephyx, Twitter Sephyx Officials, YouTube. I'll be posting a lot of content It's awesome. Reverse bass or euphoric, both. I use reverse bass sometimes as well. So thank you everyone. This was it. Hope you liked the live stream, and I'll see you later. Ciao.